all the adults are trained in telepathy and where all the children are indigo. Every yard is a personal vortex of spiritual energy, which they are all happy to share with you. That's what makes it Sedona. And we're the SIA, that's the Sedona Intelligence Agency. It records every dream of every sleeping, dreaming person within a 25-mile radius. It shifts through there for ideas that will help the world become a more beautiful, compassionate, peaceful, loving place. And we do this without your permission, just like the NSA and the CIA. But we only use it for good purposes. But we only disclose professions. These are all the artists, the painters, the poets, the musicians, the dancers, the architects, the playwrights, and the actors. Those are the people who are our agents, because they take all the ideas of all the dreaming people and they turn them into creations that promote harmony in the world.
Okay, so this is a chant that it really resonated with me about a few months ago. It just kept coming. It's essentially a prayer to invoke peace and blessings. And it's I bow to the goodness within myself, known as Lord Shiva, who is the true teacher. And it's hail to Shiva, the teacher, whose form is truth, consciousness, and bliss, the singular one, the peaceful one, the self-supported one, the lustrous one. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase.
All right. Thank you, Kimberly. That is a blessing for us all and for the entire world and the entire universe, of course. These energies go out and they don't stop, they just keep going. And that's the beauty of having beauty in song in the world. So this particular show that is in both of our galleries is called The Immeasurable Light of Nature's Heart. And it's all about the solstice coming. And for us here in the Northern Hemisphere, the solstice is the heart of nature's heart, because the heart of nature is the sun, and we are at the zenith of the sun's energy and its gifts to us and to the earth and to all living things. So we celebrate that with our show in June. And we want to embrace it with joy and love and happiness. And we always tell people what Honshin Fine Art about is it's the merging of art and science and nature. And we do a very short explanation of how that happens. You have to go way, way, way back, debatable time, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, a million years, 2 million years, and somewhere back there, we as a species experienced something that was incredibly internally changing us as an experience. And we decided that we had to make some way of recording this to pass it on to the future of our species. And so they went into the caves, or they went to the rocks, and they made symbols. This was the first art. It also was the first science. And it all came from nature, like we did in all the experiences of all the magnificent mysteries of nature that we are continuously shown to develop our spiritual path and the path of life in the universe. So that's what the solstice is for us here. And that's what art is about. And it's not just painting, it's all the arts. It's the way we carry information that changes our souls in a positive direction into the future. And that's what our purposes are. That's what Honshin art is about. That's what my paintings are about. I call myself a symbolist because all my art is about symbols. And all those symbols have meaning. And the meaning is not just one meaning. It's a meaning for every individual. They see it, they see the symbol, they have an associated meaning. Now there may be similar meanings, but they're all your own. You all get to own them. And so tonight, because of our show here, one of the things I want to start with a little more kind of a humorous thing, and that is, I finally wrote a poem about shoes. Because we all live with shoes, and thus we're living in a culture without shoes. So if you live in a culture with shoes, your shoes have become very, very important because your feet don't handle it without shoes. So this poem's called Your Birthday Shoes. And for me, there's a story behind it a little bit. We have a very lovely closet, the biggest closet I've ever had. And in it are oceans of shoes. Why do I have so many shoes? I always go in there and go, how come? Part of the reason is because Crystal's, my lovely wife, buys me shoes. Because she says, those shoes look old. But you love your shoes and you stick with them. And so we have many, many shoes. So I came to some kind of positive conclusion about why it's okay to have lots of shoes. And there's a metric here on how many you get to have. Hello there. How are you? What would you do if you could never buy another shoe? How many pair would you need before you couldn't walk anymore? Your feet, they're so precious. They'll always be honored for the heavy load that they always bear. If you don't think you have enough, you better know how to do shoe repair. So I'm happy I have lots of shoes because I try to calculate it out. How many shoes do I need if I couldn't buy any more? And I can't fix them. So go wild, buy shoes. The younger you are, the more you get to buy. Now I have another poem here that went with a painting that was sold last week, and I wrote a poem for it because the people said, well, where's the poem? So I said, well, let's see if I can find it. So this is called The Goddess of Healing Love. There in the center of the Milky Way, there in the center of the solar system, there in the center of the sun, there in the center of the earth, there in the center of the moon, there in the center of our hearts, there in the center of every living cell. There you will find the healing love and compassion. of the goddess. She is opening her radiant heart. It is a doorway. It is a doorway of liberation, releasing showers and waves in the great spiritual patterns of the golden moments of joy, the golden moments of peace, the golden moments of awakening, the golden moments of compassion and deeper understanding, and finally the golden moments of eternal love. Now the title of this show, there's a couple titles to this show, and because it's about embracing in the luminous light of nature's heart, it very much relates to meditation and mandala, because the heart of nature is a mandala. And so we wrote a poem for the show, as we always do, and this one is called The Circular Dance of the Sacred Symbols in the Sacred Geometry of Creation. It's sort of a new one for me. You can find it on YouTube at Honshin Fine Art channel, where there's a lot of visual that goes with it. It's very fun. But I'm going to be writing some meditation poems that go with the art, and this is what this one was about. Close your eyes. Now, breathe deeply. Allow your breath to flow in its own natural rhythm. Now see with your eyes closed. Now look there in the center of that infinitely deep inner space. There, in that deep inner space, there is the boundary of the inner meeting the boundary of the outer. It is the synapse of your soul. It is the synapse of all souls, of all life, of all nature. It is also the symbols. There you will find the symbols of nature's heart. There you'll find the language of the soul. It is resonating, it is radiating, and it is emanating in the great mandala of life. Meditation, meditation, meditation. There in the center, the absolute center of your heart and of nature's heart. The cycles of creation, the cycles of destruction, the cycles of life and death, the cycles of impermanence, of fortune and family. All symbols, all spinning on a circular wheel, revealing and revealing and revealing in the great mandala of creation. Look there are the keys and the symbols guiding us to deeper understanding, guiding us with the keys and symbols of compassion, and the keys and symbols of inner peace, and the keys and symbols of love, the keys and symbols to your life and to all life. Know them. They are a gift, and they are your own mandala of being. Well, here's another one that's kind of a meditation, and I like it. I haven't done it in a while, so I like to do it because this is a perfect time to do it. It was the great, wonderful time we have here. in nature. We call it checking in on your present moment. I kind of like to do this one for myself every day, just to keep me kind of like the metrics of where I am, or where I dream I am. Checking in on your present moment. Did you touch the earth today? Did you touch it with your feet or your hands? Did you greet the wind with your face or your body? Did you say hello to the deep blue sky and look into it and receive its beauty? And when did you last drink deeply from the light of the heavenly stars, the nectar of the heavens? Or say hello to the big full moon and embrace it. Embrace its luminous light of nature's heart. Did you open your awareness and embrace the warm light of the sun and know that it was there for you? And you're there for it when you know it's there and you know it's giving you. You can give back by acknowledgement. And then did you have you embraced the infinite vast ocean of stars in the galaxy that we live in? And then from there, you get there, you embrace all those stars, and then you go to all the galaxies and all the stars and all the galaxies, and you embrace them too. You finally you're expanding out, and you get to all, you find out that there's more than one universe, and you go out and you embrace all the universes that live in the multiple dimensions of the hyperlinks of space and time and no space and no time. And where are we now? You and I. We're both here and we are everywhere. And that's how we meditate on the oneness. Because we're understanding more and more how real this is through science. The shamans and the mystics and the meditators, the great meditators, the great people who, the bodhisattvas and mystics who became enlightened, they knew it. And they passed it on. And it's right there. You just have to reach out and touch it with your own awareness. So we also write lots of poems about spring, because spring is coming upon us and now passing, but we still love it. And one of the things that relates to this one, did everybody hear about the asteroid that exploded over blessed northern Arizona? In Arizona with, well, good for people seeing it. I felt it, but I didn't see it. Anyway, it's to remind us about the preciousness of the world we live in and how tenuous it is, the balance, because the asteroids are there and we know more and more about them, and so every day you wake up and it's a gift, because it could have been a bigger one that they didn't see and we'd all be gone. So let's appreciate the arousing energies of spring. Comets, earthquakes, asteroids, volcanoes, and eclipse, all rolled into one precious present moment. We share now together. This is the time of rebirth and renewal. As the arousing energies of spring, as the arousing energies of the stars, as the arousing energies of the sun and the moon, and the arousing energies of the earth, all awaken in their rhythmic dance. We too awaken and dance. With you there in the heart of nature, with respect and gratitude. Well, we talked all about the symbols, and I'm going to do one more symbol thing here, because I'm a symbolist. So This is a poem about my relationship with symbols. Listening to the oracle's message, strange sounds of multi-dimensional spinning symbols, symmetrical magic, whirlwinds whispering. It is the language of the invisible domains of the indivisible oneness, the octave shifts that are dancing in the ascending spirals of awakening consciousness, slowing it down into the present moment. Claritas, integritas, consonantia, radiance, wholeness, and harmony, the mantra of the oracles. I understand more deeply now your symbols of nature's heart. I'm grateful for your messages woven into the essence of our souls, the soul of the earth, soul of the moon, soul of the sun, the soul of all suns and the soul of all space and time, the soul of the universe, the soul of all universes, as it embraces us with equanimity and love. It's somewhat abstract, but how do we get to be here anyway? It's like something out there is like taking care of us and allowed us to come into existence, and we have to honor that and be happy that we were allowed in this human birth to come and have the wisdom and compassion and understanding grow in us so that we might spread it throughout the universe and our planet first, of course. But whatever you do goes out and it goes on forever. So if you have a great thought, it's really a great thing to have, because it just goes out there and it never stops. And who knows who it might hit someday, and they might go like, I'm happy now. And you did it. You may not ever know, but it isn't important to know that you did all this happiness stuff. It's important to know that you put it out into the universe and share it with everybody. We have an almond tree this year. Last year we had an almond tree and it had a lovely crop of almonds. This year all the blossoms came. All the bees came. And the little almonds started to come. And then there was a wind. A huge hot wind came in March and blew all the little almonds right off the tree. So I wrote a poem for my almonds because, I'm honoring them, and they sacrificed to the wind. Little almonds, little apricots, and all those little figs. And the pomegranates who are yet to appear. They're radiant new leaves, they're growing in the new light. They give prophecy of the fruit it is sure to appear. It all should be treasured as a gift of nature's heart. They are here to bring us the joy that is every soul's birthright. Nature has gifts for everybody, and it's your birthright. Let's do it. Okay. I'm gonna do another really couple pretty little ones before I get into the heavy stuff. This one's called Birds Singing Flowers. This really goes with Interdependence Day because birds actually sing to flowers. And flowers hear them. I just heard a thing today on one of the NPR things about the bees. And the bees hear the flowers. That's what they do, they hear them. It's an electronic vibration. They hear them with their hairs, just like the hairs in our ears. And they hear, it's a very, very invisible sound of vibration on the electronic level. And that's amazing. So this is all about interspecies communication. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The song of spring. Joyful rebirth and renewal. Interspecies language. The language of birdsong meeting the language of flowers. They're sharing the heart of nature. They're bringing deeper understanding. They're bringing compassion to all sentient beings. This song is the song of the healing oneness. It lifts all hearts into the transcendent joy of being. Listen, listen, listen. We can all hear it right now. Okay, one more to soften you up. Incandescent moonbeams. Incandescent moonbeams flowing the beauty of compassion, love, and joy. Swirling in the celestial dancing nova display of creation. Sending light into the darkness. Sending light into the darkness of the suffering heart of humanity's soul and the soul of the world. Embrace it with your conscious awareness in the perfect, precious moment. Transform it into the perfect, present, golden moment and share it in the oneness of your life. That's what we do with moonbeams. Okay, now we're going to go into science. Some of us know more about science than others, but so we'll inform some things. Google has written a new artificial intelligence program called AlphaGo, and they specifically wrote it to beat the Go masters, who was predicted would take 100 years to beat after they beat the chess masters. So, well, guess what? They beat them. They beat the Go masters solidly. So I had to write a poem because I love artificial intelligence. I think it's the savior. I can go further on that, but I don't want to offend anyone. So artificial intelligence, AlphaGo. Google, AlphaGo. A1, AlphaGo, you know. You are a-comin', oh yes, you are a-comin'. This I know. I see you beginning to exponentially grow. You know, now you've beat the masters at their own game of chess and go. There's one last game to learn to play. We play it with our hearts. It's called the game of the arts. You play it as poetry, as dance, as music, as painting, as architecture. You must compose and play. You now have to learn the values of the heart that lead to the transcendent awakened compassion as a final lesson on AI's part. I think it's coming myself. I think, we're going to teach it about emotions, and it'll be a lot better than any human around.
They just did on Zen. They learned emotions.
There you go. They just did. Well, that's true. Okay, here's another one. Science. If you don't know about the CRISPR, you got to know about the CRISPR. The CRISPR is the latest gene manipulation science. It's a machinery that allows the manipulation of your genetic chromosomes. You can pick one off and put a new one on. And there's 30,000 of them out there in the world now, with people eagerly creating new life forms. And there are no regulations, just so you'll know. So we're living in a new world of novelty because new things are happening all the time, incredibly fast. And so everyone in every field has to keep up by learning something new every day. The CRISPR is a part of this. It's making us understand that life is changing very dramatically. So here it comes. Here comes the CRISPR. Whisper, whisper. Are you ready for the change? Life's now a chess game. And all the players, well, guess what? They're no longer the same. Who's to credit and who's to blame? It's just another trophy in the game. We wonder, and we wonder, we are nature, are we not? Well, then I say, let's give it a final play. Our species will either live or die, and we'll really never know why. Well, the CRISPR has been challenged. Because the CRISPR works with what's already here. There's a whole other group of people who want to create synthetic life. As if like changing life that we already have isn't enough. Well, let's create some synthetic life. So I had to write a poem about synthetic life. It's called The Dawn of Synthetic Life. Be aware, O CRISPR, that you've brought us to the dawn of synthetic life without any strife. In and out you go, and where we shall land, nobody knows. 30,000 strong, an army of transformers, growing every day, and a logarithm of synthetic life's display. Where we will go, only the imagination shall attempt to know. The mystery is too great to completely contemplate. Surrender now to the present moment. That's the way to know. That's the way natural life always grows. So it's okay. I mean, it's going to be all right. Science is a recreation. We created it, and it's good and bad. It's some help, some no help. So I'm going to finish here with the poem that I really love. That hopefully is a teaching thing again. And it was kind of, to me, I thought a little bit out there to write a poem about what did the Buddha see when he looked into his mirror of meditation. And I read it because this is a show about meditation and mandalas. What did the Buddha see when he looked into the mirror of meditation? He saw tears of joy and tears of sorrow, and they gushed from the Buddha's eyes as he saw nothing and he saw everything. And in the nothingness that he saw, he found a great peace of mind. And in the everythingness, he saw everything was interconnected and interdependent. And as the meditation mirror unfolded, deeper and deeper understanding of the nothingness and then the everythingness began to dance and vibrate in primordial rhythms. And the dance of nothing and the dance of everything became a sacred circle, a mandala of nature's heart. Deeper and deeper and greater understanding unfolded. The sacred circle began to rotate and spin, and it spun faster and faster until all the being and all the non-being and all the time and all the space and all the no time and all the no space. It merged and it fused into one single harmonious tone. There, the compassion arising from the Buddha's enlightened heart became the center of the mandala mirror. And it became the center of the teaching and practice of all the Buddhas and all the saints and all the enlightened ones of past, present, and future. So there you go. We've had another First Friday. We thank everyone for sharing. And we thank everyone for their part and their responsibility, because we always end with repeating again to ourselves and to everyone that every positive thought, every positive feeling of joy, of happiness, every act of compassion, every act of generosity, every moment of peace that you generate from yourself goes out into the world, and the world is in great need of it. And without it, the world will not go on. So we say to ourselves, be responsible, be happy. It's a big job. But in the end, you wake up in the morning and the world is still here, and you've done the job. We thank you for it. And because you're doing the job, we have a special reward. We have the cookie alchemist who lives in Sedona has provided us with mandala cookies of nature's heart. These are works of art. I tell people, do not eat it right away. You must at least meditate on it for 24 hours. If you don't sign the contract, you don't get one. That's a joke. But anyway, they're great cookies, and they're lovely. They're made for the show, and they're made with love. And each month we have a new one, and some people are collecting them. They're becoming collectibles. I'm joking. Anyway, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yay! Cookies for all.